What's up? What's up? Let me fix this thing right here. All right, that's better. I love him. Hey, yo. You see me looking at it? It's only because I have the chat this way, all right? And that's the reason why I'm not looking directly at the camera, so I could pay attention to the chat. I'm looking at it from another screen. I need to know, how do I sound? I know it's been 2 weeks. I didn't have 60 frames podcast this past Tuesday because I arrived in the evening for my vacation. And then last week, didn't have a podcast also because I was in vacation. So how we sounding, bro? We sounding good? Am I sounding crazy? Am I sounding low? Am I sounding too loud? If I'm sounding too loud, you're just going to have to lower the volume. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know, man. I missed you guys. I'm glad, I didn't want to wait till next week. I said, you know what? Let me rock live real quick. Get back in the saddle. Let's get back to work. I think, you know what? Doing an early show beneficial to everybody. Some of you might be at work. Some of you might be bored at work, needing something to do. Twitter's on some BS. Like limits and all this weird stuff. I don't know why Elon Musk is doing. It's just crazy. Twitter's crazy, right? The spaces are crazy. But, I'm thinking y'all need your professor back. I go away for a little over a week and look at the craziness. Yo. Oh, man. I go away for 1 week and it's madness. It's madness out here. Like, yo, it's absolutely bananas out here, man. But I'm back. I missed you guys. We're going to rock out. Shout out to the chat. Let me see, man. Let me see everybody's up in here. I really missed you guys, man. I'm so glad I'm able to do this, Let me see, where can I go? All right. I got Alfonso Carter, Ruham, my brother, Dave Rock, TKRDS, what's up, Sergeant? Always looking through. Xbox Series X shipment. What? TK up in here. Jack Marcinel? Jackie V. We're going to call you Jackie V. I apologize if I mispronounced your last name, but I'm assuming it's Van Marcinel. Let me know if I'm close. Kratos, what's up? Downward Incline. LD, what's up? We got Toolman55. Xbox Dead, let's move on. Oh, man. The trolls are on in full force. Cloud Strife is up here. Thank you so much. What else we got up here? Planetary Federations of Unions. What's up? Corel Anchor, always down. J-Row49, what's good? Bender of Strings. Ice Queen Gaming, what up, girl? What's up? What else we got up here? We got Vegan VR King. What's up? Steady Flow. What up? Yep, earlier. I'm trying to do something earlier, get everybody. I know some of y'all probably at work or at school and you don't really give a damn what's going on. You need something to pass the time, to get over that hump. I'm here with you. Kevin Mack, what's up? Aiden Delaney, what's good? He said, oh shit, I chose the wrong poll option. Fuck. Brian M, what's up? Melo is Little Ronnie's son. Yo. Oreo Cookie Gaming, what's up? What else we got up here? Solidus, what's up? The Diplomat, Ted Diplomat. What's going on, man? It's been a while, brother. What else we got up here? Going down. Liquidator, cannot forget my brother. Yo, what's up? Right? Fehix, Fehix 420. Fehix. Man, you guys are really testing my pronunciation skills. I'll tell you that much. Evil, formerly S, what's up? What else we got here? It's Senyu.com, Dre Watson. What else we going on? We're going Kevin Ortiz. Rah! What's going on? Stephen Fry, my brother. Jackknife. Danny Dement. J Hart. Ramon Diaz. I'm only here to hear Nintendo get dragged. Oh! It's coming. It's coming, brother. The entertainment will be provided. You asked for it, you getting it. Jay Hollifield, what's up? KP. Man, this chat is moving. Savage Jr., Mass Produce. Holy cow. PIOTR. Nowalski, Piotr Nowalski. Holy cow, bro. You're killing me here. Brian East, Uncommon Sense, Sinho. And I'm trying my best. I apologize. You know, I'm working with Brooklyn Education from America, right? For smoking. Savage. Mr. Grimm, LD Facts. Oh, man, the chat is lit. And it's getting bigger. Nelson Gaming. It's just, you know, Chav. Hola, hermano. ¿Y qué? ¿Y qué lo que? What's going on, brother? ¿Qué tal? Nelson Gaming. Hey, I'm glad everybody's up in here. I'm glad everybody's taking the time. I hope caught you guys in good time. The only reason why I'm able to do this show early is simply because I'm off this week. You know, I'm trying to get back from vacation. You know, when you need like time off from the vacation, you know, you got to clean the house, wash the clothes, you know, get back in rhythm and stuff like that. I'll probably do a cruise review live. Not tomorrow. I'll probably do it Saturday. Maybe if I could do it. I'll probably do it Saturday. So if you're interested, stay tuned to my Twitter. I'll let you know the time if it's happening. But I'll do a review on a cruise for those that haven't been on one or have and maybe want to compare experiences. But I will say up front, it was an amazing experience. I'll say that. And I'll talk about that separately to see if there's any questions on stuff like that. You know, and I could provide some advice, lessons learned, things I learned, things that I wish I knew beforehand. But overall, primo, absolutely amazing, right? But with that, you know, with everybody rocking through, you know the deal. Hook a brother up, you know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, retweet this out, let everybody, your friends, Facebook, whoever you rock with, be like, hey, yo, Porter Rock is on here, and he's about to bring in the work. You know, been away for 2 weeks. It's time to bring in the work. So hit that like button, retweet this out, sit back, headphones, earbuds, speaker, TV, however you are enjoying this, prepare to enjoy. Because you already see, I already have the banner up. The banner, you already see the banner, right? Y'all already, am I crispy? You already see the banner up. The banner, that's like, rarely do I have the banner over my own background, but it's there. Shout out to Liquid Data, member for 7 months. And shout out to all the members that are rocking with the channel. I truly appreciate it, man. You guys are really awesome and great. Everybody who comes through. Yo, did you hear the FTC song with Sick and Thrash? No, I have not heard it. Everybody keeps telling me about it. I gotta check it out. I heard it's crazy, Liquid. Yo, I heard it's crazy. You know, this shit, and we're gonna talk about the FTC. It's oh my god, there's just so much. Like, how can you not talk about this stuff, right? But we gotta talk about the big banger. This is probably the biggest news out here, and it's Nintendo confirmed they're raising the price of their games to $70. Now, really, all they did was raise the price to Zelda. They didn't necessarily. At least you guys could be specific. Is every Switch game forward going to $70? Let's assume so. Let's say Zelda's the test bed, which technically is not a good test bed because Zelda's gonna sell anyway. You know, I think I would have done it with a lesser game. You know, not something as hype as Zelda. Maybe like Donkey Kong or something like that. Like Zelda's like the premium. Like people buying Zelda at $70 is not the same as somebody saying Pokemon at $70 or any other game. You know what I mean? But hey. Safe bet will be every Nintendo major first party, $70. Liquidator, thank you for Super Chat, says song is fire. I'm going to check it out. You know, can you get it on Spotify? Did they put it on Spotify? I'll put it on my playlist. Let me put that ish on my playlist, right? $70. For this right here. Look like you gained a bit of weight. That's no lie, bro. Right now I'm fasting. Object to be. Right now I'm fasting. Cause yo, we're gonna talk about it if I do my thing on Saturday. Cause on ship, all you do is eat. I'll say this: if you're in the middle of a diet or workout program and you have a goal, do not go on a cruise. Just don't. it just don't. You will screw it all up. But $70. Now let me provide some caveats. What I'm about to say is not geared towards the people who are still going to buy the game. That is not what this is about. This is not a conversation of pocket watching. You buy whatever you want to buy. If you want to pay $200 for these Switch games, you go right ahead. You buy whatever you buy. You buy whatever you feel is worth it. If you don't feel it's worth $70, don't buy it. If you feel it's worth $70, then buy it. If you feel it's worth $200, buy it. If you feel it is worth your firstborn son, you're willing to sacrifice your family, then sacrifice them. That is your business. Kratos, 99, with the crazy super chat. He really wants to know, sup, P-Rock, how much you be drinking on cruise? Did that drink cost $70? You know what's funny? It did. Because when you get the package, you're paying almost $70 per day for unlimited drinks. Yo, Kratos, that shit is crazy because I think the drink package is like $69.99 per person per day if you want the unlimited drink package. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yo, that's just Nintendo price. Yo, crazy. Yo, we're going to talk. You know what? I think I have to do this thing on review because I'm going to warn you guys. I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to help you guys prepare. If you've never done a cruise before, I'm going to do some lessons. Right, you're going to learn. Overall, great. I will absolutely do it again. There's just certain things I would do different, and we'll talk about it Saturday. But yo, Kratos, you hit it right on the nose. I'm paying Nintendo prices daily for me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? $70 is everywhere. Yo, it seems like ever since $70, prices got raised. Almost, it's like there's a saying in Spanish, right? Like when something comes up, and then it just keeps coming up over and over. In Spanish, we say, "Mira, hasta la sopa se me sale." Meaning, even in the soup, this comes out, right? So, like, ever since the $70 fiasco came out, I see that number, like, almost everywhere for the most stupidest things. On sale, $69.99. Oh, get new shoes for $69.99. Hey, get your plumbing fixed for $69.99. Hey, new dentures for $69.99. Like, the number just comes out anywhere. You eat a bowl of alphabet cereal, and the word $70 is spelled right in the milk, right? So, that's what I mean. So, that number is just so funny. The craze of $70 is just so funny, right? But back to my caveats. This is not about the individual gamer. Listen, if at the end of the day, the individual gamer, you're gonna play what you want to play. It's entertainment. You go buy. If you go buy, Tears of the Kingdom for 70, 80, 90. At the end of the day, it's your money. You're gonna spend what you want to spend for the enjoyment you want. This is not what it's about. It's not about the gamers who just want to play games and they will spend whatever they want because it's their entertainment, right? I'm not going to do that, right? And I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I'll use PSVR 2 as an example. I'm going to buy PSVR 2. It's over $500. A lot of the games are going to be shovelware. In the beginning, you're not going to have a lot of great games. And for most people, it's not worth the dollars. The difference is I recognize that, but I still want it because I do love the VR experience, even the shovelwares. VR itself is an amazing experience. But I'm not going to lie to myself and pretend it's for everybody or it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. It's not. Right? But in the end, it's my money. I do what I want. So I am not here. This conversation is not about the gamer. This conversation is about Nintendo. Alright, I'm going to lie. I'm going to backtrack. My backtrack. It is about the gamer, but only, not the gamers who just play games, but the gamers who are full of shit. Full of trash. Those gamers, yes. This conversation is about them. It is about them. We're going to talk about that. But we're going to start with Nintendo. Nintendo made the decision to make games like these $70. Now, I'm going to say this. This is not the same as Sony and Microsoft or third party raising their games to $70. Not even close. Don't even lie to yourselves, right? And I'm not really talking to the chat because I know you guys got to figure it out. This is for the people who normally are not on my channel or who are who primarily listen to other podcasts or whatever, or just don't know much, whatever, is not the same. And I'm going to explain why. Switch raising the price to $70 would be the equivalent of Sony and Microsoft raising the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games respectively to $70. And they didn't. They didn't even raise the price of PS4 and Xbox One games when they released their mid-gen refreshes, meaning the Pro and the Xbox One X. And because those two consoles came out, those PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games took advantage. They developed the games to take advantage of the hardware. So you got better performance and just more stuff than what you would get from the base PlayStation 4 and Xbox One X platform. Right? They didn't even raise the price then. Even though if you bought a Pro and an Xbox One X, you got a little bit more. Now you can argue how much more or how much more capabilities. That's not really the point. The point is you got some type of benefit and you didn't get a dollar increase. When the PlayStation 5 came out, you already had third party first. Third party was the first to announce $70, specifically 2K. Take-Two, specifically. Then I think shortly after Activision, then EA, then Sony. I think Sony was the fourth out of the major. I think the top three were the first three, which was, Activision. I think Sony was before Ubisoft, but Activision, Take-Two, and EA, they were the first three to come out saying, hey, we're raising our games for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series platforms to $70 due to all the technological advances. Sony announced their price increase too. Why these fanboys act like Sony did it first is beyond me. Like, you will really have to be dumb. You literally seen third party do it first, yet they want to blame PlayStation. Now, it's not me defending PlayStation. I'm actually defending common sense. Like, you guys, like, me saying Sony didn't do it first is like, oh, you're just cucking for Sony. No, I'm cucking for intelligence. Like, there's something in between your ears, right? Everybody has it. You pull on the left ear, you pull on the right ear. Somewhere in the middle, there's this thing called the cerebral cortex. It's your brain. Does your brain not function? Like, when your eyes and your brain sees, Take-Two announces $70 game price. Activision announces $70 game price. EA announces $70 game price. Sony announces $70 game price. Oh, god damn it, Sony started a $70 game price. That doesn't, like, how does your brain work? Like, how do you compete and fight your own brain? Like, that doesn't make sense. Wadawana with the super chat. He says, God of War, $125 on PSN. Zelda, $90. Both. What's that, Australian dollars? I have no idea, man. Hey, the Down Under is getting screwed. So Zelda's cheaper than God of War? $125 in Aussie? Man, Aussie sounds expensive as hell. Yo, it's crazy. I see Australian currency converts heavy, unfortunately. Oh, man, I feel bad for you guys down under. Oh, man. Australia has a mature rating to, oh, man. Oh, goddamn. Anyway, so, where was I at? Man, that threw me off. Oh, okay. Got it. I'm back on track. All right. Xbox One. Right. Never raise the price on those games. Okay. Nintendo is a last gen product. We are weeks away from the Switch being 6 years old. That's how old the Switch is. The Switch is not a new product by any means. It is old. And not only is it old, when it was brand new, newly released, launched right off the gate in March 2017, it was already behind in technology. The damn thing wasn't even up to par with the Xbox One, which launched in 2013. Keep in mind, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, from the moment they launched, was already considered not enough, if you remember. A lot of people were kind of disappointed on Sony and Microsoft's choice of hardware. A lot of people felt it wasn't a big upgrade, a huge upgrade, right? And this was 2013. So imagine the Switch in 2017, not even as capable as the Xbox One. And here we are 6 years later. Old hardware. Old dev kits, because the dev kits are old. No new technologies, no new engines, no new capabilities. And yet Nintendo decided that their games need to increase to $10 to accommodate what? What is the extra $10 accommodating? Well, the answer is nothing. Okay? Now, number one. And I see you already in the chat. I'm glad you brought up the number one answer to be like, oh, it's inflation. Everything's more expensive. Okay. Okay, we'll go with that. Is inflation unique to Nintendo? Only Nintendo is experiencing. Obviously not. Everybody experiencing inflation. Everybody's experiencing the higher development costs across the board. Then why did Sony not raise? Now I'm going to use Sony, right? Because Sony, if there's one company that's quick to raise their prices, it has been Sony this gen. They raised the price of the game, obviously, and they call flack for it. They raised the price of their consoles across the globe, except for the US. So Sony will raise prices on that. They have no problem raising prices. Why didn't Sony raise prices on their PS4 games? I can't answer that. Can someone in the chat? My hat's crooked. That's right. I got that gangster lean. It's called the gangster lean. It's the E-thug. I'm E-thugging. E-thugging it out. Keyboard warrior. Keyboard gangster. Listen, if it's inflation and currency and all that, why did Sony not also raise the price on PS4 games to accommodate, to keep up with inflation, developer costs, price, all that stuff? Why did PS4 games remain at $60? And not just Sony, because remember, third party can set their own prices. Why are PS4 games made by third party still $60? So it's not just Sony, Microsoft, it's everyone. The whole industry did not raise the price on PS4 and Xbox One games. Why? Is Nintendo the only one going through inflation using old hardware? Is Nintendo the only one who has higher development costs with old hardware? Are Nintendo developers unique and getting paid more and the rest of the industries aren't getting higher salaries? Like, what is it about Nintendo and old hardware that costs more, and yet everyone else in the entire industry is remaining at $60 when it comes to things pertaining to old hardware? Because the industry only raised the price on PS5 version of games. And that's not even everybody. Some people still, with the cross-gen games, I guess some are 60, like Elden Ring, right? Was Elden Ring $70 on PS5? I don't think Elden Ring was $70 on PS5, Xbox One, right? I think it was $60 across the board. MW2 is not $70 for PS4. Maybe the PS5, PS4 version, and it's $70 because it includes the PS5 key. Yeah, Elden Ring was $59, $60, and that was also with a PS5 version and Xbox Series version, right? That's all the deluxe edition. Well, the deluxe edition includes more stuff. So deluxe editions, any game that has a deluxe edition, collector's edition is going to be more expensive by default. So those don't count. It's the default baseline game, right? For example, if your default baseline game is $70, then the deluxe collector's edition is going to be even more. It's going to be like $80, $90, or $100, right? It is clear Nintendo is doing the $70 simply because they can. That is the only answer. It's because they can. Do not bring up inflation. Do not bring up development costs. Nintendo hasn't invested in anything. How can you say development costs and all this stuff? They didn't invest in new technologies. The technologies they're using is old. When does old technology with zero investment cost more? It's old. They didn't put in no money to provide capabilities such as performance options, VRR, all these great options and advancements that the games are providing now. Now you can make the argument. I know, and this is what was happening with the PlayStation 5 in particular. Was PlayStation 5 next gen games worth the increase, right? And the number one argument was a lot of the stuff PlayStation 5 was providing was already provided on PC, and it was still $60. Why does it cost more on PlayStation to do something PC was already doing at $60, right? So some people felt that even though you're getting all these huge advancements over the PS4, they were already available. They shouldn't cost extra because PC does it and doesn't get the extra charge. So I understand the counter argument, but at least there was an argument of new stuff, new capabilities. Whether or not that warranted $10 extra, haptic feedbacks, VRR, options to play at 60 frames, 120 frames, better graphics, actual 4K resolution, all the bells and whistles, Tempest audio, all that stuff. Whether or not that was worth $10, at least you saw what was being talked about. Nintendo's bringing nothing to the table. There is nothing new to the table. Wada wada. HL base is $10 more than Zelda in Australia. What's HL base? I don't know what HL is. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts base is $10 more than Zelda in your Ken Link. On Switch? How much does Hogwarts cost on Switch? Listen, Australia, man, you guys, it seems like you guys getting screwed. Yo. Hey, yo, when it comes to gaming. Shit. I don't know what's going on. Master, Sony could ask $100 for Spider-Man 2 and sell like Hoxgate. Yes, they could. And that would be very dangerous, man. Now, Nintendo's not providing any new capability. It's old hardware. The Switch is old. It's 6 years old. There is no hidden GPU. There's no power of the cloud. There is no secret power of 4 Titans. You're going to get what you get now. People, man, Nintendo fans, this is where it's going to segue into this. Now people be like, oh, this is the first true Switch Zelda. This is the creme de la creme. Now we're really going to see. My boy, shout out to Jay Barry, he brought up a great point. If this is the first true Switch game, which is a stupid argument, I don't think people thought this through, then what the hell was the Switch games from the last 6 years? Are those not built from the ground up Switch games as well? Is this not a built from the ground up Switch game? So you're telling me for 6 years you didn't really have a true Switch game? And let's be honest, what the hell is a true Switch game? The damn thing's weaker than the Xbox One. What secret power, is even the absolute best Switch game is not gonna keep up with what we got now. Let's just stop with the nonsense. Again, this is not about the gamers who want to buy the game. Buy the game. It's your money. You do what you want. This is about Nintendo. And I will say this. This is the only thing that I have a concern. And that's really a big concern because it is what it is, right? I would say this is the only thing you Nintendo fans may want to watch out for. You are enabling, if this $70 price increase with no effort, because remember, it's not just the $70 price increase, it's $70 price increase with zero effort in advancement technology. Okay? This is not a subjective conversation. Nintendo is doing nothing extra for that $10. All right? You can argue whether the extra things PlayStation and Xbox is doing for their console is worth $10. That's a separate conversation, because that's an opinion now. All these great features that comes with the new consoles is worth $10. That's an opinion. Nintendo is not an opinion, because they're not bringing anything. That is a fact. No new technology being brought with these games at $70 is not an opinion. It is a fact. The Switch is old hardware. There is nothing new to the table. You know, it's not RDNA 2.5 or any weird shit. It is old hardware. 6 years ago, right? And if these $70 games are still successful, which the odds are it potentially can be, Nintendo would just have proven that they can do minimal work yet charge maximum price for minimal effort. Meaning, the Switch 2 can be a modest upgrade. Maybe not even as powerful as the Xbox Series S. Hell, be lucky if it's the PS4 Pro. Be lucky if the Switch 2 can keep up with the PS4 Pro. And yet, they can probably charge $400 for that product. And hell, they could even say again, hey, we have to raise the price again to $80. Because now we're working with 4K. And what are you guys going to do? Nintendo can charge maximum price for minimal effort. And the thing is, that's every business. Every business would love to do that. Just some people can't get away with it. Like Sony and Microsoft, they wouldn't be able to get away with that. They wouldn't be able to re-release. Like if Microsoft and Sony would have, if the PS5 was, let's say, as powerful, maybe a little bit more powerful than the Pro, and the only console Microsoft released is the Xbox Series S, they would have gotten destroyed. They would have gotten destroyed. They would have gotten ripped apart. You know, Sony and Microsoft, they have to go big. Nintendo apparently doesn't. Right? And that's the thing. Like, if your Switch 2 is equivalent to a PS4 Pro, oh shit, man. Like, and yo, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. You know, I mean, at least can they go on the level of the Steam Deck? Sean Benjamin, Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year and sold like hotcakes. Tears of the Kingdom like to do the same regardless. Oh, you're right. But guess what? Breath of the Wild was still $60. Tears of the Kingdom could still be successful at $60. Understand this. A game selling 20 million doesn't mean it justifies the $70. That I don't understand that. Because I seen that you're not the only one, Sean, that point. Oh, it's going to sell like hotcakes, got great Metacritic. It still would have done that at $60. You're not paying $10 so you can brag that the game sold 20 million copies. That's not, that's, the game would have done that at 60. If the game wins Game of the Year, would have done that at 60. The question is that extra $10, what are you getting on top of what you already gotten? Tears of the Kingdom would have been whatever it is at $60. They said, no, we're going to add another $10. Cool. If you're adding another $10, what are you adding to the game beyond what was not possible? And the answer is nothing, because it's old hardware. It's old hardware. There's nothing new you can get. It's 6-year-old hardware. Whatever the Switch can do is whatever the Switch can do. You understand what I'm saying? Perfect example. I'll use Horizon Forbidden West as an example. You have the same game on the PS4 60, on the PS5 is 70. So now you got to ask, all right, the PS5 version, why is it $10 more? What does it have over the PS4 version? Because the PS4 version has the character, has a storyline. You can fly in the air. You could go, underwater. All those are major gameplay advancements over the first one. So all the major gameplay advancements over the first one was present. So what did the PS5 edition have? Well, 4K resolutions, better frame rates, options, all this other bells and whistles stuff have this feedbacks. Now, whether you feel it's worth $10, different conversation. There is a difference between the PS5 version and the PS4 version. It just comes down to whether or not you feel is worth the $10. With Switch, that conversation doesn't exist. There is no, okay, this is the $60 version of Tears of the Kingdom. This is a $70 version. And this is the differences between the two. No, it's just Tears of the Kingdom, $70. And just deal with it. What would the $60 version of Tears of the Kingdom get us? That's the thing. It's the same game. Nintendo is just raising the price because they can. Their IPs are powerful. They just surpassed PlayStation 4 lifetime sales in 6 years. Absolutely impressive. Their games are selling high. I think the last Zelda's, the Breath of the Wild sold 30 million. Phenomenal. If you look at what primarily sells on Switch, it's primarily first party, which is ideal for the company. If any games are the best sellers, generally you want your first party to do that, right? So Nintendo got that unlocked. They are doing it simply because they can, not because they actually invested in new technologies. They invested in nothing. They're selling it because either you pay the $70 or you just won't play the game. Deal with it. And that's the reason why they were able to keep their games higher prices. You don't see a lot of deep sales on the top Nintendo first parties, right? You might see a $10 price cut or something like that, but you're not going to see this for $15, $19. This, you're not seeing this. At best $40. And this game is 6 years old also. But you're not going to see this game for $7. Like many games. After 5-6 years, hell, look at The Witcher. One of the best games of last gen, Witcher 3. Amazing game, right? You could buy the game for like $7, $19 with all the collectors, right? Games drop by. Except Nintendo. These games stay whatever. And of course people say Nintendo knows their value. I think it's a combination. Not so much as Nintendo knows their value. Nintendo knows their audience. That's what it is. Nintendo knows their audience. They know that when you buy a Switch, let's be honest, no one's buying a Switch for third party. No one really buys Nintendo for third party, right? You can buy an Xbox and not play any of the first party, and you will play lots of games and enjoy lots of games and enjoy lots of great games. You can do the same thing on PlayStation. You can buy a PlayStation and really not buy any first party, but you will still have access to amazing games. Game of the Year caliber games. It would be crazy not to play first party, but you could do it. There's a lot of third party games, great third party games. Hell, look, Hogwarts Legacy is not the big thing right now, right? That's a third party game. There's a lot. Dead Space, another third party game. There's some great games you can play. You can absolutely enjoy Xbox and PlayStation without the first party. Go ahead, buy a Switch, and don't buy any first party. Yeah, okay. It would be pointless. One, you're not getting all the third party. Most of the top third parties not even on the Switch, right? No Dead Space. I think you got Hogwarts Legacy, but playing Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch, my God. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you're in Australia. This is crazy. Now, let me segue into the community. This community, there is so many people full of shit. Wadawana, P-Rock, do you think New Zelda sells more than Breath of the Wild? Oh, man, you know what? I don't see why it wouldn't, because you have more people. Remember Zelda? I don't know, man. I think that's, I don't know. I honestly don't know, man. I'm interested to see how impactful. Like the hardcore Zelda guys, this is nothing. I want to see the moderate gamers. Because you have the hardcore, whatever. 70, 80, 90, it ain't happening. But every single Zelda fan is not a hardcore Zelda fan. I want to see how many will look at Zelda and be like, oh, nah, I'm not messing with this game. Whatever. Psycho Gamer, your mistake is comparing the Switch to the home console market. Nintendo's the only play in the home market, so they can charge what they want. I partially agree. I think if Nintendo was still a home console, it's irrelevant because there's only one place to get Nintendo's IPs, But I do think, yes, the mobility of Switch does help it out. So I say I 80% agree with you. 85% agree with you. I 85% agree with you. But at the end of the day, their product, you're buying a Switch When you buy a Switch, you ain't thinking of third party. You're thinking of Nintendo, right? And that's why they have this hold. Hey, yo, you know. Now, there is so many people. There's so many people in this community that is full of shit. And I just wonder, what's the goddamn point with some of the shit, excuse me, like with some of the stuff you guys say. There was such backlash, especially against PlayStation, for $70. Why did you even bother to pretend that you had issues with $70? Why pretend? You know, why pretend? Why pretend that you actually were shocked? People still buying Call of Duty. They're buying these remakes at $70, right? And shout out to Blandrew. He was real critical of $70. That yo, my man mentioned $70 in PlayStation as much as he can on that time. I had to retweet it. Of course, I brought out the receipts. So check my timeline. I requoted his stuff because he talked a lot about $70. And now, my boy Blandrew, guess what, brother? You're gonna have to take a stand. Are you about that life? Did you mean what you actually mean when it comes to $70? Because you were real critical with PlayStation. You were questioning on what the PlayStation was worth the $70. You were really going at the $70 defenders. So now the ball's in your court. Are you going to stay by your word? And preach? Are you going to back up what you've been preaching for 2 years? Since the start of this, since 2020, you were all about this anti-$70 campaign, which I have no issues with. But now, it's time to step up. Andrew, the talk is over. It's time for you to walk. Are you going to walk that path? With everything you've been preaching for 2 years, will you now set the example and show everybody that you just don't talk it, you walk it? And you're not going to support these $70 games from Nintendo. Or, because you love Nintendo and you love their games, you're just going to ignore it and buy the game anyway. And just be like, oh well, I'm just going to go with the gusto. And if that's the case, which is fine, like I said, buy whatever you want. Why were you so critical of other people going with the gusto then? Why are you about to do what you criticize the most? That's the question. Are you going to practice what you preach? That's going to be the trick. That's the question I'm going to ask for a lot of you gamers, for a lot of gamers that stood the line on $70. Especially on Nintendo. Will you guys now hold that line that you've been that you've drawn over the last 2 years? Because if you cross it, which is fine, buy what you buy, at this point, though, it makes no sense to complain about anything. If you truly listen, if you're gonna complain about something, this is my recommendation to everybody: PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. If you see another brand doing something and you're about to complain about it, before you complain about it, ask yourself this. If my brand did it, would I actually be against it and hold the line and not conform to it? Or would I just suck it up and deal with it anyway? If the answer is no, I will hold the line, I'm not playing that bullshit, then go ahead, complain about the other brands. If you're a PlayStation dude, complain about Xbox. Complain about Nintendo. If you're a Nintendo dude, do it. Because if it comes around to your side of the court, you're going to keep that same energy and you're going to practice what you preach. But if you know you're going to let your preferred brand get away with it because of reasons, which is fine, because ultimately you enjoy the brand, then don't complain about the other brands then, because you don't mean it. Don't chase clout. Don't try to gain traction on your channel, content creator, or Twitter. No, don't do that. If you're not going to hold the line, it's like me, right? I talk shit about racing games. You all know I talk shit about racing games. In fact, some of you right now are like, oh, here you go, Puerto Rock. Some of you PlayStation fans would be like, yo, bro, can you leave Gran Turismo 7 alone? Right? Most of y'all already, man, I already lost viewers. They're like, yep, Puerto Rock gonna do his racing bullshit. Unsubscribe, right? But do you know why I can do that? I can talk shit about racing games? Because Gran Turismo, when technically speaking, is PlayStation's most successful franchise. 90 million sold. It is the most successful franchise PlayStation is. Beyond. Now, obviously, other franchises are going to catch up and surpass it, I'm assuming. But technically speaking, 90 million. Right? Yet I still talk shit. I keep the same energy. Gran Turismo 7's trash. Therefore, I can say Forza Horizon's trash. I can say Mario Kart is trash. Because it doesn't change the platform. Racing games are trash. So it's equal. See, that's how you do it. But I can't do that. I can't say, Forza's trash. Racing games are boring. And then all of a sudden on my PSN ID, I plat Gran Turismo 7. That doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? Now, I understand GT7 is great for racing fans. I understand for racing fans, these games are phenomenal. But I am fair. I understand Forza is phenomenal. Forza Horizon is phenomenal. Mario Kart is phenomenal. For you guys. You see? That's how you need to do it. So all of you who bashed $70, you should have asked yourself, hold up, skirt, is Nintendo were to raise the price to $70, will I still buy their games? If the answer is yes, then there was no reason for you to complain about 79 games. Because you would be part of the group anyway. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Hit the like button. Now, I'm going to say this. Since I brought up racing games, before I move on to the next topics, I am salty about one thing. About Gran Turismo 7. I'm not going to lie. I am highly upset. Something about Gran Turismo 7 is absolutely upsetting me. Yes, Gran Turismo 7 is upsetting me by a lot. And you guys probably are wondering what it's literally like. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's hitting a nerve. Gran Turismo 7 hit a goddamn nerve, and I don't like it. And you guys probably thinking, what am I talking about? I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about Gran Turismo. Kevin Mack, you God damn, Mac. This motherfucker knows me, bro. Gran Turismo VR. You goddamn right. Because right now, Gran Turismo VR is looking like the #1 killer app on goddamn VR, bro. Yo, even I am looking at the shit like, holy fuck. And that takes a lot. For me to admit that GT7 right now is looking like the best game on PSVR 2 is fucking killing me, bro. It's killing me, bro. That right now, that game, yo, I'm seeing the videos. The shit, the game is looking beyond anything I've seen in VR right now. Anything that I've seen in VR. It is absolutely insane, bro. Like, yo, you would have to be the biggest fanboy on the planet to not look at that game and be like, holy cow. And you know, for me to say this about a racing game, for me to say a racing game is looking like the best killer app on a platform, yo, you know it's serious. When I saw those videos of races in VR, in the like, you see the head motion and like, yo, that, I'm not gonna lie, it's making me want to play it. I never seen a racing game that I look at it and it caught my eye. Yo, I'll be honest, bro. And it's pissing me off. Because out of all the things, I thought it would have been Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild has nothing on Gran Turismo 7 right now. There is no game, period. Not even, and Half-Life Alyx. I thought, me looking at Half-Life Alyx, it's absolutely amazing. I hope it comes to PSVR. Yo, it looks phenomenal. But I am telling you, Gran Turismo, when I see from Gran Turismo 7 in VR, shits on every game, period. Like, yo, and it just pisses me off that out of all the goddamn games, that's a killer app. It's a freaking racing game. Oh my god, it's pissing me off, bro. The shittiest genre ever created in gaming. And it's the absolute killer app. It pisses me off. I look at it and I'm like, oh my god. Yo, it's yo, unbelievable, bro. PSVR 2 might as well be an official sim racer helmet. Golly, bro. Like, yo, that's what's pissing me off, bro. Unbelievable. Anyway, so we'll move on, right? Jeebus, bro. Already got me in a bad mood over this. But let me go to the next topic. You know what we're doing, right? Barao. Let me reduce my webcam real quick. Let me shrink myself so we can fit that in. There we go. Boom. So, Xbox community. Things ain't going quite as planned. Woo! Oh, apparently the Google University degrees in law and acquisitions have failed you. Things aren't so peachy. Yo, you got my man Jazz Corden. He's about to renounce his citizenship in the UK. Yo, oh my god. The shit is bad. It is bad. Now, I will say this. I still don't know how is it going to go. I know there's a lot of PlayStation dudes. Shout out to my boy J-Dub. He's out there trolling saying the deal is dead. I'm not saying that officially. I have no idea. I think the deal could... I honestly don't know now. Now, at first, I thought the deal was going to go through. Yes, I knew there was some bumpy roads. But I honestly did not think there was going to be actual movement. Like, outright regulators and watchdogs. And what I mean by watchdog, organizations that, you know, look out the best interests of consumers, you know, saying outright no. There was one watchdog that actually, let me look it up. The Red Dragon, you know, posted it. I'll look it up. But there's a watchdog in Europe that looks into this stuff, and they provide, you know, recommendations. They're not an official regulator, you know. It's a private interest group. But they are also against this. I never realized how many people or groups would actually outright say, like, no, we're going to tell Microsoft, no, sir. You know, let's go, let me see. Let's go, it's crazy, right? My favorite part is what you see on the screen, right? So you see on the screen, the UK's Competition and Market Authority has published its provisional conclusion on Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard and proposed that Call of Duty be removed from the deal as one possible compromise. So one of the recommendations from the CMA is you can acquire ABK, but you have to sell off Call of Duty to someone else. Meaning Call of Duty cannot be part of the deal. So if the real reason is King and get into mobile and all this other stuff, and Call of Duty, remember, Microsoft said themselves, Call of Duty is not that big of a deal. Y'all remember that? Remember they were saying it didn't win PlayStation's Game of the Year, its Metacritic is low. Remember the downplaying. Microsoft downplayed COD's success and said it's not really about Call of Duty. Well, CMA's like, I'll see your hand and raise you 100. Get rid of Call of Duty. Now Microsoft out here like, all right, what? what happened? Mean we didn't mean it's like it's not relevant. That it's kind of a bit harsh. What we wanted to say. Nah, CMA's like, all right, if it's not really about COD, sell the franchise rights to someone else. You can have ABK. Literally, they can have Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Crash Bandicoot, all the shit Activision has, Diablo, and Candy Crush and King and all that. You can have everything. Just Call of Duty, sell it to somebody else. Sell it to Ubisoft, sell it to EA, sell it to Tencent, Embracer Group. Let them have it. You get everything else. You'll have all the capabilities to make mobile games through King Branch. You'll have a huge presence on PC with World of Warcraft and all that stuff. And you'll have all the console games. And you have Overwatch, right? Overwatch is pretty big. Go ahead. Do it. And the deal's done. That's all. That's really a recommendation from the CMA. Just sell off Call of Duty, because that is literally the only thing stopping you from acquiring Activision Blizzard King. One franchise. Get rid of them. Microsoft's like, Microsoft like this. They're like, they don't compute. It's crazy, bro. This shit is funny. And I'll be honest, it may have to come down to that. It may have to come down to if Microsoft, if it's Call of Duty is a huge brand. Let's all rewind a little bit, because there's so much nonsense and misinformation that influencers are pushing and all that stuff. Let's just be honest about this whole thing. Microsoft, ABK is huge, has a lot of stuff, but Call of Duty is a big presence in gaming. Let's not all lie. Whether we personally like the game or not like the game sells all the time, has a huge community. Warzone's huge. It makes a lot of money. From Microsoft's point of view, having that IP will bolster their plans for Game Pass and increase, Microsoft Xbox success. That is the absolute fact. On PlayStation side, Sony side, their concern is a game that provides lots of money to them, because royalty is now in the hands of their competitor. They don't want Call of Duty to be in the hands of their competitor. That's it. Sony's fighting for the interests of their own pockets. Microsoft is fighting for the interests of their own pockets. Right? And Activision's in the middle. That's it. All this other bullshit nonsense. Oh, you can survive. You just compete. Stop all the bullshit. Sony definitely will be okay. Microsoft can still compete. All of that is bullshit. It's really about the money. Call of Duty brings out a lot of money. Microsoft wants to control it because it will bolster their platform. Sony doesn't want their competitor to control a huge revenue stream that goes into their pockets. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. That's all it is. Nothing crazy. Shout out to Kratos. Sell COD to Sony. Oh, shit. That's not going to happen, right? Then Activision's not going to do that, right? They're not going to sell it to Sony, right? If Sony has any chance of getting Call of Duty, they don't have to do the same exact thing they did with Bungie and in the contract guarantee that whatever, but that ain't happening. It's either going to be Embracer Group, EA. I will put my money that the groups that would contend, if it had to come to that, would be EA, Tencent, and Embracer Group. I think those are the big three. I don't think Ubisoft, it will go to Ubisoft. I wouldn't want it to go to Ubisoft, to be honest. It's going to be between EA, Tencent, and Embracer Group. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Embracer Group or Tencent publish Call of Duty? Didn't they have a deal with Activision for Asia? Right? Something like that. If I'm correct, right? It was one of them two that was the publisher of COD in the Asian market. Imagine Tencent, But things are not going well. Now, of course, you got two groups on both sides. You got the PlayStation side looking at it at the worst possible scenario, and you got the Xbox side looking at the best light, right? Oh, no, we got behavior. Everybody's using these terms and keywords. Let's keep this simple, right? Because the topic is really above our pay grade. It's above my pay grade, right? You're talking about something that is being involved with people with master's degrees and doctorate degrees in finance and acquisition. You're talking about people with law degrees. You know what I'm saying? That specialize in this stuff. You know? So, I don't know why, just because we could do a little Google search. Here's the problem. There's a lot of people in the community simply because they read a redacted document. Because remember, these documents are redacted. It's not even the full public display. They got it all figured out, and their interpretation is spot on. Listen, unless you got a law degree, you'll be surprised how something that you read is not what it really means unless you have a law degree. You can misinterpret a lot of terms in this. You know what I mean? But people think because the companies are releasing public documents that they got to all figure out, and they're in the know, just like the regulators and the lawyers. These guys have the nerve to say they know more than the regulators. Like Jez Corden and a lot of these Xbox dudes. Oh, these guys don't know what they're doing. These regulators have people with master's degrees in this. And they have the full documents. They don't have the redacted documents that are shown to you. They have, I think the CMA mentioned that they reviewed over 2 million documents. You guys read like 30 pages. Like, shut up. Like, the audacity of these guys thinking that they know as much as the regulators, who have not just one person, right? Because it's not really one person. It's a team and teams and specialists and finance professionals as teams reviewing this stuff. And you're telling me one guy from Windows Central knows more than all of them? Shut your ass up. Like, stop it, bro. Like, what the hell is you thinking? Come on, bro. Like, you're out your mind. Get out of here, bro. If a lot of these influencers had a fraction of the proficiency and capabilities that these lawyers have, you will not be doing what you're doing right now. You will be actually working for a multi-billion-dollar company earning 7 figures. You will be earning 7 figures right now. Stop it. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to find, what was that, like, watchdog group. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. Open Markets Institute. So, Open Markets Institute in Brussels has just come out to say they agree with the CMA and share the thought that Microsoft represents a threat to gaming with the Activision deal. Xbox deal means less choices for gamers and monopolization of cloud gaming. So, Open Market Institute is another watchdog group. Open Market urges CMA to reject Microsoft offer and reject the deal outright. It says the CMA's inclination to focus on structural rather than behavioral remedies is the right one. As the CMA itself acknowledges, behavioral remedies are notoriously difficult to monitor and enforce and unlikely to be effective. The CMA should therefore reject any attempt by Microsoft to address its concerns by offering rivals temporary access to Activision game catalog. It should also avoid entertaining any complex solutions involving partial divestiture, which could undermine Activision's future as a successful independent business. We therefore urge the CMA to block the acquisition outright. Now, people are wondering, what's the difference between a behavioral remedy and a structural remedy? I'll give you an example. Microsoft offering Sony 10 years of Call of Duty is called a behavioral remedy. It is a condition, okay? The problem with that is what happens after the 10 years. Microsoft could easily cut, they fulfill their requirement, right? And then who's going to enforce another 10 years when Microsoft already owns Activision? That is behavior. Structural remedy is what Sony did with Bungie. They didn't do a behavioral remedy saying, hey, Microsoft, we're going to make sure Destiny 2 is supported for another 10 years. Hey, Nintendo, they didn't do that. They wrote it into the structure of the acquisition that Bungie has total control of their IPs to include new IPs, and that they determine what platforms they will be on. So, in essence, nothing changed for Bungie. Whether they were Sony or without Sony, they're going to do what they're going to do. That is a structural, remedy. And that's why, some people are saying, oh, how was Sony able to buy Bungie with no issues? It's because Sony, right from the beginning, did a structural remedy. And all the regulators saw it. Bungie has full control. At no point can Sony say, hey, this game is not going on Xbox. They can't tell that to Bungie. Only Bungie can make that decision. And they're not. Because they want their games everywhere. That is a structural remedy. Microsoft is not doing a structural remedy. In order for Microsoft to do a structural remedy, they will have to code it into the acquisition, which they clearly don't want to do. So why does Microsoft does not want to do a structural remedy like the way Sony did it? Sony had no problem giving Bungie outright control and say, hey, put the games wherever you want. No problem. Why can't Microsoft do that? Because Microsoft intends to make those games exclusives. If they had no intention of making Call of Duty exclusive, they could just write it into the acquisition. Activision remains in full control of the IP. They own the IP. They do what they want. But they're not doing that. Right? So what does this mean? Things are not going well in the house of Xbox. It's just simply not. Check this out. Let me share my screen real quick. Yes. My man Jez Gordon, boy, he hurting, bro. The UKCMA is such a joke. My man got it all figured out. Listen, to all you Xbox guys, you are biased to Microsoft. You absolutely 100% are not speaking for the gamers. You never have. You never will. You only spoke on behalf of Xbox gamers. Do not pretend you have Nintendo gamers, PC gamers, or PlayStation gamers, or even future cloud gamers in mind. You do not. Stop lying to yourselves. You cater to Xbox, which is fine. Just admit it. Be who you are. Like, be real. Okay? Sure, I'm a PlayStation dude. But I am not out here criticizing CMA, all these, or FTC, or telling them they're doing a poor job. Because, again, you're talking to groups of people with literal educations and experience beyond what you're doing. If you were just half as good, Jez, as they are, you would not be doing Microsoft's Windows Central. You would be a lawyer working for a multi-billion-dollar company making millions of dollars. That's what you would be doing. You would be at least making high six-figure salary. You would be making $800,000, $900,000 a year doing this if you were that good. If you knew exactly all about multi-billion-dollar acquisitions, you would be doing it. Stop playing. Come on, man. Cut it out. Cut it out, bro. Cut it out. You're just upset things are not going the way it's going for Xbox. Last year or a year and a half ago when this was announced, everybody was going to be smooth selling. It was only smooth selling because you were all biased on half of Xbox. It's your pure biases. At no point did you truly think of this. Let me just throw this into let me throw this question out there for all you Xbox guys. I think is whatever. Which scenario? Now, to preface this, I have no issues with a company trying to gain exclusive. If anything, I am one of the few or many that understand what the power of having an exclusive IP does. So I'm not saying Microsoft is wrong for trying to make Call of Duty exclusive. Let's get that out the way. So don't try to pin that on me. Don't try to put, but PlayStation, I'm not arguing that what Microsoft is trying to do is wrong. How they're trying to cover their trails is wrong. They're trying to pretend that they're not trying to make these things exclusive or whatever. Just tell the truth. Stop trying to pretend you're trying to put the games everywhere. No, you're trying to lock down the market and by maintaining controlled IPs, which I'm not going to argue is, I'm not going to say it's wrong. It's not wrong. It is what it is. Okay, finally, someone keeping it 100 about what the deal is about. I'm not going to argue that. Microsoft trying to gain exclusives is a great strategy to push their platform. Sony did it. I'm not going to argue that. But you guys, shout out to Psycho Gamer. Thank you for the super chat. But many Xbox games are straight lying about this move will get games to more gamers. No. So I'm going to pose this question. Which is better for the consumer? Just a simple question. What up, Alfonso? Another member. What up, my brother? I'm going to ask you a question. Let's see if you guys are for the gamers or just fanboys for Microsoft. Which is a better scenario for the gamers to get more games out there? Call of Duty, Activision Blizzard game, but specifically Call of Duty, owned by Microsoft and on exclusively xCloud, or Call of Duty available on multiple cloud providers, meaning Microsoft xCloud. Let's say if Sony gets back in the game, you can also play it through PlayStation Cloud. Let's say Nintendo decides to get into the cloud game, you can play Call of Duty through Nintendo Cloud. And let's say Amazon, through their Luna, you can play Call of Duty to cloud. Which is actually better for the consumer? Call of Duty exclusively on xCloud, or Call of Duty available on xCloud, PlayStation, Nintendo? Let's say Valve, Steam Cloud. Let's say Steam does their own cloud. Available on Steam Cloud, available on Nintendo Cloud, available on Amazon Cloud. More cloud choices to play Call of Duty. Which is the better option? Which is the true option for gamers? If that's your thing. If it's not about companies, it's about what's best for the gamers, then which is the better scenario? Obviously, Call of Duty on more cloud providers. Now again, I'm not saying Microsoft trying to capitalize on Call of Duty IP so that way their cloud, xCloud service is more appealing than the rest of the cloud service. I get it. That's how you become a successful platform. That's how you dominate the market. Exclusive IPs. I get it. I'm not arguing. And at no point that I say Microsoft is wrong for trying to acquire exclusive IPs. You never heard me say that. Not even gonna argue that. But you guys arguing for gamers to get access to more games, you cannot co-sign the way Microsoft doing it, especially with Activision Blizzard. The way for more people to play Activision Blizzard games or Activision games is for the games to be on more platforms, meaning more cloud providers, more platforms, and Activision has the decision to do that. Activision could have been put their games on Nintendo. They just didn't want to. And Activision can work with multiple cloud providers. They can still work with Microsoft Cloud. They can work with whoever, GeoForce? What's the cloud service? I think NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA Shield. And there's another one that starts with a G. Chat, help me out here. Help a brother out. GeoForce Now. They could put Call of Duty on GeoForce Now. They could hit up Amazon, right? Amazon has Luna. They can work with Amazon right now. So you could get Call of Duty Cloud on Luna, GeoForce Now, xCloud. Maybe one day Sony will get their shit together and do cloud there as well. Nintendo has a cloud service, right? Because I think Resident Evil 7 is playable through the cloud. They could hit up Nintendo and be like, hey, we noticed that the big demanding AAA games, you only run it through cloud. So how about Call of Duty through cloud? Right? You don't need Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't need to buy it to do that. You see what I'm saying? Come on, let's all be honest. Okay? True Virgil said, "Out cycle game," and AGS said it wasn't about COD. Literally 2 days later, this comes out. Microsoft won't budge. Hey, let me put it this way. If it's not about Call of Duty, because again, we heard about that. We heard about all this nonsense. If it's not about Call of Duty, CMA provided the resolution. Sell Call of Duty. And you keep everything else. If it's not about Call of Duty, sell off the franchise to another publisher. Tencent, Embracer, EA. Say, hey, we will acquire ABK. We will first sell off the franchise to, and here's the deal, but everything else. And notice, no one really cares. If you notice, no one's really talking about whether or not Overwatch or Crash Bandicoot or Diablo is going to still be on PlayStation. No one's really talking about that. It's only Call of Duty when you think about it. No one is actually caring, oh my God, Crash Bandicoot's not going to be on PlayStation. No one gives a F. It's literally only COD. That is the only IP. And to prove it, like a lot of people were saying, oh, Sony don't want Microsoft to grow. Biggest BS I have ever heard. Did we not see Microsoft buy Ninja Theory? Compulsion. Right? Bought Bethesda and their slew of developers and IPs. What's the... Jesus Christ, it's off the top of my head. The RPG studio they bought. That just released Grounded. And they're working on Avowed. It's not BioWare. For some reason, but it's not BioWare. It's Puerto Rock. Welcome home, homie. No doubt. You asked where I've been at? Hey, Saturday I'll talk about the cruise. Obsidian. Notice not a peep from Sony. Or really from anybody. They bought Bethesda. Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Doom Guy is exclusive to Xbox. Think about it. Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom Guy is exclusive to Xbox. You literally have Master Chief, Wolfenstein, and Doom Guy as exclusive first-person shooters on one platform. Nobody said a peep. Not one peep. Not even Sony. No one contested. No one cared. It's literally just Call of Duty. Notice Sony didn't talk about Overwatch, too. They don't give, whatever. So technically speaking, Microsoft could just end all this nonsense and say, you know what? We give in. We will agree to sell the franchise, Call of Duty franchise, to another competitor, to someone else, and we will acquire everything else. And guess what? No one's going to worry about whether everything else is on PlayStation or not. No one really cares. So put your money where your mouth is. If it's not about Call of Duty, there you go. There's the answer. You can have every other IP available on Activision's arsenal, Blizzard's arsenal, and you got what everybody's saying what it's really about. Because everybody's saying it's really about King and mobile because that's where the money is. Well, there you go. Just be the end with it. Sell off Call of Duty and just move on. Guess what? Call of Duty will be on another third-party publisher. It's still going to be available to everybody. Nothing changed. It's still going to be on Xbox. It's still going to be on whatever. The only thing is it just won't be on Game Pass. And technically, it's not that it can't be on Game Pass because Microsoft could try to cut a deal. It's just whether they're going to be willing to pay the price. You know? It is what it is. Now, let's move on to the next topic. And this is where it's going to get funny. This is where it's going to get funny. Where do I have it? Do I have it here? Okay. Y'all see that, right? Let's see. And then, yeah, we'll start with there. And then I'll click on to the next one. Before I get to that, the CEO of Microsoft, he went live on CNBC. And he tried to use Sony and Nintendo's dominance, specifically Sony's dominance in Japan over Microsoft, as a reason to look into that. Because he's trying to push that Microsoft should be allowed to acquire Activision Blizzard. And he's like, hey, someone should look into how dominant PlayStation is in Japan. And it blows my mind that these guys are actually out there doing this. It blows my mind that Microsoft is trying to make themselves look like the little guy in this. Granted, there is a difference between PlayStation being more successful than Xbox, but saying Xbox is the little guy. That is two different statements. Microsoft is by far not the little guy at all. Not even close. When you look at the top three right now, as it stands right now, with the structure of Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, Microsoft, out of the three first party, they have the most developers. They have the most franchises because of their acquisition of Bethesda and everything they acquired. So they have the most franchises. They by far have the most money. And they have the most resources. 4 things. Developers, studios, franchises, money, and resources. Now the first 2 is easy, right? The most development studios, because again, acquiring Bethesda, acquiring Ninja Theory, acquiring Compulsion Games, Obsidian, all these acquisitions just led to them having a shit ton of studios on top of what they already had. With Mahong, who makes Minecraft, Rare, and all them other studios, they just have a lot of studios. And then they built the initiative. How they manage the studios is not the conversation. It's just they physically have them. So they have a ton of studios under their arsenal. Microsoft's the second richest company in the world. Again, they're trying to buy Activision Blizzard for what? $69 billion, $68 billion, whatever, cash. Sony, I think, as a whole, is worth over $100 billion. So this one publisher is like the cost of 3/4 of Sony, whatever. 60%, 70% the value of Sony. That's how much money they have. So the first 2 is easy. The third one, franchises, they just gained Wolfenstein, Doom, Doom, Evil Within. They just, Ninja Theories, Hellblade, and then whatever they're developing, they just acquired a catalog of franchises. Some of them already established. Okay? But the last part, people forget, which is the resources, which is way above what Sony and Nintendo have. And what do I mean by resources? Let's start with, did we forget Microsoft bought Havok physics engine? Y'all remember that, right? Well, the entire gaming industry uses that. Even Sony. They pay Microsoft licensing fees whenever they want to use Havok. I'm not sure if Nintendo uses Havok. I'm assuming they do, because it's such a popular engine that I would assume that they do. Or at least the third party that makes Switch games also use it. So anytime you see a game that says Havok, they pay for it. Microsoft owns that. As far as connectivity for their online, PlayFab and Simply Gone are very popular. Guess who owns those 2? Guess who bought them out? Microsoft. Microsoft owns Simply Gone and PlayFab. So if you see a PlayStation game and it has PlayFab or Simply Gone, yep, Sony's paying for that. If Nintendo has it, Nintendo's paying for that. If EA, Ubisoft, Tencent From Software, if anybody has that as part of their game, guess who they're paying? They're paying Microsoft. DirectX development kits. The most dominant developing kits on PC. You see what I'm saying? So, Microsoft has the resources. They have the money. They have more money than Nintendo and Sony. They have more resources than Nintendo and Sony. They have more studios than Nintendo and Sony. They have more franchises. So how does a company with so much more is trying to ask companies with less, let us compete? You're just holding us back. Bitch, you got more than us. Get your ass out of here. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. Listen. Stop playing. Microsoft has way more than Sony and Nintendo to properly compete. They have everything in place except for leadership. That's what you really need. You don't need ABK. You need real leadership. You cannot tell me Xbox, that has more resources, more money, more developers, more franchises than Sony and Nintendo, and somehow they're unable to compete. You are out your damn mind, bro. Yo, if Sony had an extra $65 billion cash in hand, just the cash. Never mind Havoc or Resource, screw all that. Just give them another $65 billion specifically for PlayStation. Bro, it would be like giving Batman the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, bro, you're talking overpowered. You just gave Batman literally all 6 gems of the Infinity Gauntlet. What the fuck? Excuse my language. Like, yo. Like, bro. Like, Sony, PlayStation. And somebody just be like, hey, PlayStation, we're just going to give you $65 billion. Here you go. Oh, my God. You couldn't stop them, bro. You couldn't stop them, bro. They just give them $65 billion. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. They don't need Activision. You just give them the $65 billion, bro. With their own studios, they bolster up their own studios with $65 billion. Oh, bro. That alone, again, you just literally told Batman, hey, Batman, here's the Infinity Gauntlet. Do you? Ha, ha, ha. Forget about it. Forget about it. Microsoft, and that's just $65 billion now. Microsoft has more. Xbox could get much more than $65 billion. They can get more money. Like, come on now. Microsoft, listen, you Xbox fanboys, stop it. Microsoft has the ability to compete. Right now. This Activision Blizzard game, the Activision ABK deal, is not an excuse for Microsoft at all. If anything, it seems like it's a crutch. It's holding them back. They got everything. They can compete. What they're missing is true leadership. But a lot of you are more concerned with being friends with these guys. Hoping that these executives will follow you, go on your podcast, do all this weird stuff. That you're not really willing to tell the truth and tell them what they need to hear to make the Xbox brand better. You're more concerned with community, and you got all these weird people that don't even play games, but they do shows and all this weird stuff. Stuff that doesn't come down to picking up the controller. You're praising everything but what you do with this. And it's just weird. It's just absolutely weird. Right? Anyway. Look, you all read it. Microsoft also submitted that its internal analysis shows, redacted, to percentage decline in base game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. You think. Now, I'm going to say this. This is proof that Game Pass does not increase game sales. The issue was not Phil Spencer lying. Yes, you heard me right. The issue was never Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg, any Microsoft exec lying. I don't have an issue with them. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, Porter, that's bullshit. They're liars, lies of P, blah, blah, blah. No, listen, hear me out. You know I won't steer you guys wrong. Phil Spencer, let's say, makes $5 million a year. I don't know what his salary is. He's a millionaire, though. When Microsoft, your boss, pays you millions of dollars, you're gonna fucking lie. Listen, I will lie. I will lie. If I work for Microsoft, I would be out there being like, oh yeah, we're selling F tons of games because of Game Pass. Hell yeah. Bro, how do you think I got my Maserati? You think that Aston Martin pays for itself? Bro, if Microsoft hired me, I will be out there telling that, bro, we making game sales. It's coming out our butts. I can't even keep up with how we selling so many games. I just stopped tracking them. I will lie my ass off, bro. It will be crazy how much BS I will say. Because that Aston Martin is not paying for itself. Phil's blue eyes. We can't help but to like MS exec. Phil is so cute. Shout out to Phil's blue eyes. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Listen. You think the Rolex comes cheap? You think my Jordan collection is free? I would have a room of watch, because I'm a watch guy. I love watches. I will have rooms of watches, bro. I will have a watch for every outfit. You think that the companies pay me to get that type of life? Yo, I would lie my ass off. I would say some of the most outlandish shit that I can legally say. And that's the question, right? Phil clearly lied when he says, oh, whatever, or twisted words, whatever. But he was not bound by law to tell the truth. In this case, though, when reporting information to the CMA, to regulators, you have to tell the truth. And this, what you're reading, this right here, right? This is the truth. They cannot lie to regulators. Microsoft submitted that internal analysis shows a decline in base game sales 12 months following the game suffers from sales. The issue was never Phil. The issue is the dudes in our community. Why would you cap for Microsoft saying, oh, Game Pass increased sales? How in the world? Remember what I said before? Left ear, right ear, cerebral cortex. How did you fight your own cerebral cortex, your own brain, into thinking games being given away and played for $1? And after the people play it, they're going to make the decision, even though I beat it, I'm going to buy it anyway because, hell, I'm just going to buy it. What? Bro, cut it out, man. Look at this. Microsoft internal documents recognize that adding titles to Game Pass would lead to cannibalization of B2P sales. Now, I'm not surprised, but it's amazing how many people got the term B2P wrong. Most of them were saying buy to play. No, that's not what B2P means. It means business to person. It's a business term, right? If you took, college courses in business administration, I'm finishing my degree in information technology management. So there is some business classes. There's B2P, which means business to person, right? Or B2B, business to business, or B2G, business to government. All these terms, right? B2P means business to person sales, right? It means a business selling a product to a person, right? One internal email exchange, that blah blah, and everything's redacted. But ultimately, Microsoft is admitting that yes, Game Pass creates an environment where games sell less. This is not a shocker. Like, we all knew that. Like, if you're giving away a game for $1, why would you go back and pay $60 for something you already played and have access to? That's like buying Halo Infinite, right? Like me, I played Halo Infinite for $1 because I never used the Game Pass dollar deal until Halo Infinite came out. I said, screw it. Let me just play Halo Infinite for $1. I played it. I beat it. Why the hell would I pay $60 after I just played and beat it? Especially when I didn't really like it. Like, what? Like, no. And some people be like, well, if you like the game, you'll buy it. Why? I'm going to be honest. If you played the game on Game Pass and you know you're going to stay subscribed to Game Pass and you're going to pay your $15 a month, once you download and play the game, you will always have access to that download, even if they take it off the store, right? Because I think when they take it off the Game Pass store, it's people who didn't play the game that no longer have access. So once you download the game, you're always going to have access to that game. Why would you buy it? If you're going to perpetually stay on Game Pass, you always have access to the game. It doesn't make sense to buy it digitally. Not many people are going to do that. Now, I could maybe understand if you buy the physical version, because you are a physical collector. That makes sense. You got Game Pass, but you want a physical collection. It's more about the collection. But if you're not a physical collector, you're not going to buy the game. Game sales will be cannibalized. This is fact. It's always fact. The issue is we have a lot of idiots in the community that fell for the marketing BS. I have a question. I want you guys to ask, when you're on Twitter and you see these Xbox advocates, ask them this question. Ask them, show them this image, save it. It's on Twitter. You could look at my timeline. Ask them, hey, how do you feel knowing that Phil Spencer lied to you? He lied to you saying that Game Pass increases sales, But the actual truth, when told to regulators, because he is bound to tell the truth, he's telling them that it doesn't lead to more sales. How do you feel knowing Phil Spencer lied to you guys? Factually, this is proof Phil Spencer lied to them. And that they were capping for lies. So any Xbox enthusiast, fan, or whatever, on Twitter telling you, Game Pass leads to more sales, you were pushing a lie on behalf of a $2 trillion company. How do you feel knowing you put yourself out there looking stupid? And don't blame PlayStation fanboys or Nintendo fanboys. No, this has nothing to do with us. You chose to push that agenda, and now you look stupid doing it. How do you feel? Do you forgive them? Do you move on? You out there on your timeline, on podcasts, saying all this shit that isn't true. How do you feel? Do you think Xbox-centric podcasts will podcast over this? Do you think they're going to have a podcast and they're going to discuss how they were lied to, and that on their platform, talking to their audience, they literally lied to their audience? Now, granted, maybe they trusted Microsoft, but do you think they're going to have a podcast and be like, hey, Microsoft revealed that Game Pass doesn't improve game sales, that they actually lose and gets cannibalized? While for months, years, we've been telling you all that game sales get better, we want to apologize. We were going off of what Microsoft saying. They clearly lied to us. And in turn, we ended up lying, misinforming you all, our audience. Do you think they're going to do that? Do you think they're going to podcast and set the record straight and realize that Microsoft screwed them, pushing false narratives to their own subscribers, to their own audience? Or do you think they're just going to move on? Because that'll be me. I'll be honest. If I push something, whatever, I'm going to be like, I remember when the whole generation thing came out. I said that Sony was misleading with the term we believe in generation. I know some people try to dance around it. I stuck with my opinion that Sony knew what they're doing. To this day, I still say that they were misleading with generations, because they made that statement in counter to Phil Spencer. The timing was all, and I didn't like that. But do you think these Xbox-centric podcasts, they're going to come out and set the record straight? And not only that, starting today, do you think they're finally going to stop pushing that narrative that Game Pass increased the games, makes better sales? Because it's not true. So we shouldn't be hearing that anymore. The whole gaming community should now, so spoke the truth. Game Pass does not improve sales. In fact, it cannibalizes sales. It makes game sales worse. We got the truth. So from this point on, we shouldn't be hearing from anybody in the community about that bullshit. You think that's going to happen? Or are they going to still push misinformation? Kratos, P-Rock, there's more truth to this. Xbox games don't even hit the NPD charts. Halo, Pentiment, Forza Horizon wasn't on NPD. It's the facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? Truth is out there. We got the truth. Now, let's see. I'm going to finish off with one last topic, which is not on there, which is, let's talk about God of War selling 11 million copies and PlayStation having their best quarter ever. How? And this was happening while I was on vacation, so I couldn't really dive in. I was seeing it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm on a boat. This can be tabled when I get back. But now that I'm back, how does any gamer in any community have the nerve to try to downplay God of War sales? 11 million. Wow, you said the game came out in November, December, January, in just over 2 months. 11 million on just the PlayStation platform, setting the record. And they try to downplay it. The nerve of these fanboys. How? Hey, P, are you getting PSVR 2? You know it. I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to, deal with the misses. But to be fair, I definitely get PSVR 2. But the nerve, but I'm going to get it through the PX because no taxes. But the nerve of trying to thrash 11 million sales. How can anyone even, listen, anybody you interact with on Twitter or on social media that tries to downplay 11 million sales, they are the purest of the purest. I'm not even going to say fanboys because there's got to be a deeper word to that. Again, left ear, right ear, in the middle is your cerebral cortex. They are literally fighting their own brain cells, their own synaptics. They're going against their own brain to try to even downplay 11 million. To put, it's absolutely insane that anyone tried to do that. Absolutely insane. Blew my mind that was even an attempt to downplay. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Which just truly, listen, I am going to truly say this. And this is my wholehearted belief. I think there is a definitive group in the Xbox community, I can't tell you how much, that wants Microsoft to succeed, not on the strength of them becoming better, but on the strength of Sony not existing. Because if PlayStation doesn't exist, automatically Xbox, at least in the realm of, obviously there's still Nintendo, but obviously, Microsoft and Sony are more in line with what they're trying to compete with. By getting rid of PlayStation, Microsoft is successful. Now notice, I said by getting rid of PlayStation. I didn't say by Microsoft getting better by creating games that in their own right will sell 11 million copies or whatever. No. Like, Microsoft doesn't have to do anything at all. Pretty much, these guys want Microsoft to gain, if it's a race, right? If you're on a racetrack, they want Microsoft to get first place. The problem is they want nobody else on the racetrack. It's just only Microsoft. So by default, you're going to be first because you're the only one on the race. Instead of looking at PlayStation's success and be like, holy shit. Sony took a franchise, God of War, that at best sold 5 million, which was God of War 3. And they turned it around and took that franchise to a new level where the 2018 one sold 20 million. And now the sequel already is at 11 million in just 2 months. How, instead of looking at it and be like, how did Sony achieve that? And what can Microsoft learn from that? So that way their games can go above and beyond. That's what if I was an hardcore Xbox guy, that's what I would focus on. I would focus on just seeing what Nintendo and Sony's doing and what the leaders at Microsoft can learn from them to get Xbox franchises up. But instead, you got these fanboys on that side of the house. They're not doing that. They want to blow out PlayStation's candle to make Xbox candle burn brighter. It blows my mind how these guys, left ear, right ear, cerebral cortex, you might want to focus more on. You don't have to like PlayStation, right? You don't have to like them all. It's irrelevant. How you feel about PlayStation is irrelevant. But, something here should be like, they have a formula and Microsoft needs to pay attention so they can replicate that formula and use it with their own IPs and get their IPs up. Notice, God of War went from 5 million to now 20 million and now in 2 months 11 million. Gears of War should grow into a 15, 20 million selling game. But it didn't. It went backwards actually because Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 on the 360 was an 8, 9 million selling game. That went down to a 4 to 5 million selling game with 4 and 5. It sells less. They're going the wrong direction. It should go up. Uncharted, I think Uncharted 4 finished off at 18, 19 million. The franchise went up. You know what I'm saying? Halo trending down. Gears trending down. They're going in the wrong direction. So fans of Xbox should look at Nintendo and at Sony. Doesn't mean you have to like their brand, but you should recognize if you're into the conversation, yo, how are they making their franchises go up? How is Guerrilla going from one IP, Killzone, to a new IP, and their new IP is a breakout success? How did they do it? What did they do? Maybe, take those cues and apply it to Ninja Theory. So that way, their new IP can be a breakout success. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would approach it. I wouldn't try to look stupid and find a way to make 11 million sales look like, not a big deal. Like, what? Come on, bro. That's just, I don't know, man. It just blows my mind what's happening over there on that side of the house. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, listen. I think I missed John Cusack. I'm a scientist and it's not going through, P-Rock. He said I'm a scientist and it's not going through. There you go. Let's see, just to make sure. Yep, I think I hit all the super chats. Well, anyway, thank you so much for rocking out. On your way out, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, stick around, subscribe. Every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 60 frames, no lag. Memberships available for those that want to support the channel and see the growth in 2023 and beyond. Anyway, I'm glad you guys were able to rock out. Hey, stay tuned. If I do the show on Saturday, it's going to be specifically on my cruise review. For those of you that don't know, I just came back from vacation. I was on a 7-day cruise line. It was amazing. I'm going to talk about that specific. If you're interested in knowing, pay attention to my YouTube channel or Twitter. I'll let you know what's going on. And I'll do it early enough on Saturday. And it has to be Saturday because Sunday's the Super Bowl. So if I'm going to do it, it's going to be done on Saturday. And then you guys, and it's just going to be 100% about the cruise. No gaming, no nothing. It's a cruise, my experience. And if you've never done a cruise before, I'm going to give you some lessons learned on it. All right? But anyway, you guys take care. It's Thursday. Weekend's coming. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy gaming. I'm going to be up in here. Right now, I'm playing Valkyrie Elysium. I'm hooked on the game. It's stopping me from playing Hogwarts. I got Hogwarts. I think I'm close to beating Elysium. Hopefully, I'll get it done today or tomorrow. Then I'll hop on Hogwarts Legacy. Team Slytherin. Right? The House of Slytherin. All right? All you mudbloods. Posh. Okay? Anyway, you guys take care. Love you guys. This is your boy Puerto77. Your only friend is YouTube Streets. And we are out of here. Take care. Peace.